WLS. When you want Chicago's classic hits, turn to 94.7 WLS. For traffic and weather info, tune in to 890 AM WLS for traffic and weather first on the fives when you need it most.
And when you see news happening, call the 89 WLS News Tip Hotline. Help make 89 WLS the most plugged-in news department in Chicago. See it, say it. The WLS News Tip Hotline, 312-236-0507.
Lauren, John Cass, Lauren Cohn. Lauren, I fumbled the sequester text, so I have to read this to get it out. From 630, what if they threw a sequester and nobody came? Okay.
That's a good one.
I'm done with that now.
Feel better now?
I kind of, yeah.
So how about the story, John, that's been out there for the last couple of days of this CEO from Yahoo, a woman, who decided to ban working from the home. No more are people allowed to work from the home. And this is the same CEO who actually only took 2 weeks off for maternity leave. So she sounds like a tough lady. Obviously.
Hey, I only took 2 weeks off from maternity leave.
You did?
Yeah.
So a lot of people are fired up about this because there are people who actually feel that it's beneficial for them, especially moms who have kids, to work from home. And
well, the issue is some people, she's the boss, and she has a nursery next to her office.
Right.
And moms and other people, who have to come back in now and work from the office don't have how are they going to take care of their kids? These are the questions that you have to balance. And in large companies and small, you have to. I think you have to have flexibility, but at the same time, you need production. I don't work. I could sit at home after I leave WLS. I could go home in my office with at home with the Ronald Reagan cowboy poster on the window, and I could write my column there. But then I wouldn't be in the office.
Right.
I wouldn't be in the mix. I wouldn't be collaborating with colleagues, and you end up watching TV, playing video games, looking at your navel, and writing stuff off the internet.
Right.
And that's ridiculous. You have to report and be out.
And that's, I guess, a tough call for executives to figure out which person could be productive at home and which person would not be productive at home.
Correct.
And I don't even know how you measure that. We were hoping to talk to a CEO this morning from Chicago. We're going to break it down. She's on the line. All right. So we have Huma Gruez. Hi, Huma. Who I just want to say that you are the CEO of Alpatac, and you are a single mom who built up this business, and you know the benefits and the downsides of working from home. So what have you done with your company, and what do you think about this policy that the Yahoo CEO put in place?
Yeah, I built the company as a single mom. I'm happily married right now, but I really know the challenges of working full time, building a business, or working in a very challenging, driven environment, but also attending to the needs of your family and especially children. I'm proud to say that I was always driven at work, and I was able to build a very successful company. Yet, I really was able to attend to my kids' needs. I never missed a school performance. I always prioritized their needs. I think there is a balance that can be found in the work environment. It doesn't have to be either or.
What comes first?
Example,
what comes first? What
okay,
comes?
sorry.
What? Hi. It's nice talking to you. I haven't talked to you for some time, but it was a pleasure meeting you a while back.
Hi. How are you?
Hello. What comes first? Because I have a hole to fill in the newspaper every day. It's on page 2. I have to write it. I can't say, you know what? I really want to see my kids play soccer. Yes, I do, but I have to fill that hole. I have to write a column. People expect it, or to be on the radio. Listeners expect Lauren and I to, have our little arguments or what we do here.
Exactly.
In other words, doesn't work come first? Work is work. You have to get it done.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. However, sometimes you can do your work in environments where you're compromising, where you don't have to compromise. For example, I'll give you an example. My daughter plays tennis, and she's in big tennis tournaments. I will take my laptop, I'll put my headphones, and I will absolutely focus on my work when I need to. and then go back and sit on the stands and cheer for her.
Huma, how do you decide which one of your executives in your office is productive and is able to work from home, and which one isn't? How do you make that decision?
Well, this is a great question. Obviously, there are executives in our office that I know, whether they're working from home or at the office, they will be putting their 100% in their work. And we just implemented a policy in our office. All our senior staff, our account executives and senior account executives are able to take a day off once a month and work from home if they need to, and we will not be checking what they're doing. And it's all performance driven. We have put metrics in place that measures their performance and shows us whether this is going to affect us positively or negatively. Listen, we could not work and we could not function as a company if everybody was working home every day. Then you don't have that collaborative atmosphere that you were talking about. But we can find a balance. We can give the flexibility to our employees to boost morale and to retain top talent. But you need to give to the right people. If you see that there is abuse, obviously, this policy is going to be either cut or limited to people who really, really are dedicated and you can trust. So you need to put metrics in place. And to your point, there are jobs that cannot allow this. If you're a radio host, you can't do it from a soccer match. So you need to be also selective about the people who can do this.
Although next week I'm going to be gone to go to a soccer match. I'm going to take a day off.
But that's what you're taking a day off. But what do you think of what this Yahoo CEO did? Complete ban.
I think it's a bit of a brutal move. I think that she's really, really trying to turn the company around. I think what she's doing is either or, and of course having a nursery right next door to her office, yet saying to her employees, you can't benefit from what I'm enjoying. I personally think that it can cause resentment. I think she should find a happy medium and really reward her star employees. She could have an incredible, productive mom who really needs that flexibility. Is she willing to lose this incredible employee just because she implemented that policy?
And then what about the single guy? What about the single guy that doesn't have a child? Is he, who's flexible for him or her, the single woman who doesn't have a child? And we say, oh, well, you don't have to be at home on Christmas because you don't have kids.
Yeah, that's a great question. I'll be very honest. I'm a single mom, and I always prioritize kids because raising kids is very important. And more important than, watching a movie or going out with friends. So if the single guy has responsibilities, attending maybe his elderly parents or taking care of someone, of course that flexibility can be given. But if the single guy wants wants that benefit just because he wants it, other people are having it. As a boss, I would not look at it, warmly. I really, really think that family needs should come first.
Well, Huma Gurash, we really appreciate you joining us this morning. We got to take a break. We know you've got to catch a flight, so we appreciate you coming on. Huma Gurash, the Chicago CEO of the company Alphatec. Thanks again for joining us this morning. Good information.
And let's have lunch again soon, okay? Thank you so much. It's interesting. Who gets, 591-8900, call in. How is it at your job? Do you get, does your boss have a nursery and you have to leave your kids home alone with a stranger? And
you bring up the single thing. I know, as a single person in a newsroom, people always said, because she can work every holiday and she can work and she doesn't have responsibilities. It's definitely an interesting debate.
591-8900, John Cass with Lauren Cohn, back after this.
89 WLS. When news happens and you're there to witness it, call the 89 WLS News Tip Hotline at 312-236-0507 and let us know. Keeping Chicago covered. 89 WLS.
We're talking about different rules for different people, and people having to come back to the office to work, which I think should be done, but I guess that's radical because everyone wants to stay at home and watch My Baby Mama while they're putting a report together. Julie and Elgin. Julie, am I mean? Lauren Cohn is nice. Julie?
What do you think, Julie?
Well, I think it depends on what she's really trying to achieve. You know, these days companies don't like to have things like those nasty layoffs. So if she's trying to kind of get attrition by a move like this without having a layoff, that might be what she's trying to do, then she'll accomplish that, but with a lot of pain. But if she's not trying to do that, then I think she's done something radically wrong culturally and otherwise. She's just going to demoralize her people. And I've worked in Fortune 500s all the way down to startups. And the biggest problem is the burden of productivity is on the employee. But the burden of knowing the outcome and what you want your employee to do is management. And management doesn't do that very well. So they go back to this industrial model of if you're in the office and I'm watching you, then you must be productive. And that's not necessarily true at all.
You know, I had a editor, one of the first editors at the Tribune said, I don't want to ever see you in the office, right?
Because they think if you're not out doing a covering something, you're not working. I don't want you sitting around
talking about what stories you did. You know, get out there. He's from Tennessee.
Right.
And
it depends on what your job is.
Right.
If that's your job, then that's what you need to do. You should be. If you're a salesperson, you should be on the street.
Right.
But if you're not, you know, then it's up to the management to know what they want from you.
And workers, though, I find that if you're not in the office, you're not collaborating.
Well, I don't know that collaboration is necessary in all cases. You know,
so what you're saying is it depends on the job.
It does. It really does. And in an information age, I think it's really management has neglected knowing what they want that employee to accomplish. Because if you know that, what difference does it make if you pay them for the value of their service if they accomplish it in 2 hours or 6 hours?
Well, and I think that was Huma Graz of Alpatech Marketing's point, is she has a marketing and PR firm, and she has, you know, workers, and some of them stay at home, and if they're productive in helping their clients and doing what they need to do, then it's okay if they're at home.
Thank you, Julie, for that call. And Lauren, I think, it's a question I can't answer because I still believe that people should, you know, if you have kids, I'm old-fashioned. Mm-hmm. We only had one car for 10 years. Somebody stayed home. Someone's going to be home with those kids. We weren't going to give them to strangers. So we had to make sacrifices. And the other person who was going to work like a dog to bring in the money. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
it also, like she said, it also depends on the kind of job. John, you have the kind of job where you have to be out. You have to be out working. You can't be at home.
Listen, we're getting calls 591-8900. We'll try to get to you as soon as we come back. We have traffic and weather first on the 5s with Ryan Burrow.
89 WLS. Monday morning with Bruce Wolf and Dan Proft on 89 WLS. Stephen Moore, the Wall Street Journal, on the effect of the sequester.
And if we survive the Barackalypse, we'll talk to Israel Adonijah from the Bears about Jay Cutler's salary.
That's Monday morning. Bruce Wolf, Dan Proft, 89 WLS.
Barackalypse, Dan Proft. I like it, man. Tim on the Northwest Side, what's up?
Yeah, Barackalypse. I like it. I'm a father. My wife and I both work. I work with a considerable amount of people who do not have children. And the woman who was the CEO of that company who said that she would give preference to people who did, that's part of the problem. I mean, you have to be equal across the board.
Yeah.
If someone has chosen not to have children yet, you can't treat them differently.
No, you can't.
I just think that's wrong, and it ties into the whole problem with hiring and reverse discrimination and everything else. If you're going to be equal, be equal. And these days, with modern technology, with whatever job you have, you can track people's progress. It's pretty simple.
Thanks, Tim.
That's a good point,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
You cannot, you know what? The job is this. When the economy tanked a few years ago and everyone was freaking out, no one was talking about, can I work at home? Can I take care of my kids? It was, I want a job.
Right.
And let's get back to that attitude. And still is, right, Lauren?
Yeah.
And let's get back to that attitude, okay? Let's be productive out there. Anyway, John Cass, Lauren Cohn,
Can we take one more call?
Okay. All right. Let's see. Willie on the west side. Willie?
Hey, good morning.
What's up, Will?
Real quick.
I've got a quote from a former manager I think hits the double standard pretty effectively. we had been given a project to do on very short notice with a lot of time required.
Quick, Willie. Just get to the quote.
You hearing me?
Yes, just get to the quote.
Okay, so the quote was this: "Kids, the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card."
Okay. All right, Willie,
right.
I got your point, and I've got two at home, but I don't think I made anybody work for mine. And, that's it, right?
Right. All right, coming up,
Get
we're
to
talking
work.
flags next, when you display them and people tell you to take them down.
Can't put the American flag up on Oak Street because you know what? Somebody is going to be offended by the Stars and Stripes of the United States. Lauren Cohn, John Cass, 89 WLS. Back after this, it's 10 o'clock.